All right, everybody, we are back with another episode of Wealth for the Culture. Today, long-awaited episode, man, but perfect timing is everything, and this is perfect timing. I got Anthony and Jhanilka Hartzog on. They are the Hartrimony. If y'all don't know who they are, y'all living under a rock. I got put onto them probably like 2 years ago from their debt payoff journey. Fast forward, they got a cleaning business where they're out there killing it, and not only killing it themselves, but teaching other people like myself how to start their own business. They have some students out here making 6-7 figure businesses as well. I don't know how they keep up with the social media, but they always posting on social media as well. So I'm gonna let them get into it. I'm gonna let them go ahead and give a little background on themselves. But first, I want to thank y'all for coming on the platform, dropping some gems, check in how y'all doing, because I know y'all had a busy week.
Thank you. We're doing good. My name is Jhanilka, as you said, and this is my husband, Anthony. To introduce ourselves, we are from Brooklyn, New York. We live in Dallas, Texas for the past 5.5 years now. We've been married for 5.5 years, so we moved down to Dallas like right after getting married. Right now, we have our first baby on the way.
Next couple weeks.
Well, as you mentioned, most people, when we started on social media, it really was sharing our debt freedom story and the process of that. We had paid off $114,000 in debt in 23 months by side hustling. So that is really how we got into side hustling and kind of knowing about entrepreneurship and knowing more about businesses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of paying off our debt is when we started the cleaning business. And the cleaning business, we were starting it to be as a side hustle, really, to help with us paying off our debt. And it became so much bigger and is so much bigger than that. And now we teach students. We've taught over 700 plus students on how to get their cleaning business up and running.
Man, first off, congrats to that. And I definitely wanted to go into y'all's background, like how y'all met and stuff like that, because I think that's just like the best place to start with.
Yeah. So born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And we literally lived in the same building, in the same project building, housing. So we grew up in the projects. I lived on a 4th floor. She lived on a 6th floor. And we literally grew up in the same building. We dated in high school. And then we knew each other since we were 15. So 20 years at this point. And then we dated in high school. And then I went off to college. We stopped dating. And then later on in the college career, after college, we got back together. Mm-hmm. And that's how we know each other. Born and raised, same building. Our mothers, both our parents still live in the same building. So when we go back to Brooklyn and visit, we're literally going back to that same project building and staying there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, what I wanted to also get into is kind of like, I know y'all, couples, they go through all this, and what was y'all like relationship with money, and how did y'all view money when y'all was like coming up and stuff like that? That's kind of what I wanted to go into.
Well, sorry about our dog. We actually, funny thing you asked that, we recently launched a podcast, and we spoke about that on this week's episode about our money, how we grew up differently. We lived in the same building, but we had different, thought processes around it. I'm an only child. He has 2 younger brothers. And so growing up with money, I don't really remember, even though we lived in the projects, it never was a struggle, if that makes sense. We still were like middle class, if you will. My mother is a single mother, but she was a teacher, so she had pretty good income, so I never felt like I needed anything or went without when it came to food, clothes, traveling, none of the above. So I would say I had a pretty good life. The first time I got my real job is like a sophomore in college, really. Oh, so that's
Yeah, for me, I had 2 younger brothers, like she said. I have 2 younger brothers. So we all lived it was 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. And my first job was packing bags at Key Food. And I knew that in order to buy what you want, you got to make more money. So I was packing bags. The first thing I bought was like a video game, Killer Instinct for Super Nintendo. And that was like $50. You're getting paid $1 to go pack somebody's bags and bring it to their car. And that was kind of my relationship with money. I knew that in order to buy things that you want, you got to work more hours. And that was kind of my first understanding of how money worked.
Okay. Now, for y'all, like y'all story, I think is just interesting because a lot of people, when they talk about debt payoff, things of that nature. They start talking about saving and things like that. And for y'all like the first people I seen where it was more of a increase your income situation. So kind of what even got y'all started on y'all's like debt payoff journey? Because a lot of people don't even think about that when they're coming up.
So it was literally me. When we first started, when we got married in 2016, we sat down and we put our finances together. And I was literally listening to podcasts at that time, and I came across a podcast that just talked mainly about paying off debt. And first conversation was just like, all right, well, let's sit down and find out how much debt we have. And we had $114,000 in debt combined. So that's her student loans. That's my student loans. That was a new car I got when we got down to Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. That was credit cards, and that was our entire debt. So when we first started approaching this journey, we were talking about, all right, how can we pay off this debt faster? So obviously we cut as many expenses as we can. So it wasn't like much we could cut because we were living
much that we wanted to cut. Let's clarify.
Yeah, because we were living a pretty modest lifestyle. So we wasn't living above our means in our rent or in the car or anything like that. So the things we kind of cut were just like cable a little bit. We kind of changed our plans. Our phone bill, we cut there. We saved money on our car insurance. We cut down some subscriptions, but it wasn't really much. So the other side of it was raising our income. So you can only cut so many expenses, but at the end of the day, your earning income potential is unlimited. So I said, let's find ways to raise our income so that we can pay off this debt a lot faster. And that's when I brought the ideas to Jhanilka about different ways to kind of raise our income.
Yeah, so we were side hustling like crazy to pay off the debt. And that is what contributed to us paying it off within 23 months, 114,000.
That's crazy. So what was like some of the side hustles y'all had?
One of the ones that we had was working at Equinox, the gym.
Yep.
We both worked there, and I worked there up until right when the pandemic happened, and I became like a manager on duty there. Okay. This is all while maintaining our 9-to-5s, by the way. That was one thing. Another thing that we did was that we watched dogs. We have a dog, and so we were watching dogs on a platform called Rover.
And that's rover.com.
And you just kind of like an Airbnb for dogs. They will come to the house and I watch them because I was working from home. We also had our new car, the new car that he got when we got down here on the platform Turo. That was bringing in like $700 a month. Mm-hmm. And I had my own car too. So sometimes we had both cars on there, and that would bring additional income. We also,
and I say this all the time, I could have been the OG of like the Turo platform. Because this was like 2016, 2017.
Oh, y'all was doing it back then? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we bought the car in 2017? No.
You probably going to get down here, 2016.
Yeah, we bought the car in 2016 and paid it off in 2017. And that was when we had the car on Turo, and it literally paid itself off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we paid that car off in 1 year. I took it off the platform.
Yeah. And what else did we do? We started the cleaning business to help pay off debt, but we didn't take out any money because we had so many side hustles going that we didn't need it.
Yeah, we just kept the money in the business, just kept growing it.
And then I'm a therapist, so I'm licensed. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm licensed in New York and in Texas, and I started working in a private practice, so doing therapy with people face to face. So I was doing that as well as a side hustle. So we had a lot going on as newlyweds. And all that.
Word.
Yeah.
Nah, before I get to like the Hartrimony brand and stuff, I just want to ask y'all, like, what was like the biggest sacrifice y'all had while y'all was on that journey of paying down all that debt?
Go ahead.
For me, it was like my sneakers. I had a huge collection of sneakers, so I started selling some of my sneakers I didn't wear. I actually sold some pairs that I regret at this point, but it got us to our journey faster. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice some of those things. You go in your closet, you could probably sell some stuff. So I was selling my Jordans, and then I also stopped buying Jordans too, because I had a bad habit of buying like 2-3 pairs a month. So I stopped doing it. Well, that's probably the biggest sacrifice. It wasn't like anything crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't know what I would say that I sacrificed really. And that's the reason why we raised the income, because we didn't want to sacrifice too many things. Like, and I had said that to Anthony, I'm like, we're going to go on this journey. I need to be able to still take my Uber, go to brunch, do what I want to do while paying off this debt. And so that's how we balanced it off.
Oh, so y'all was still like, for the most part, enjoying life and, doing what y'all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we started the debt payoff January 2017, we had went to Hawaii May 2017 because we already had like that plan. We still had trips to like New York and Miami. So we didn't. I wouldn't say we stopped doing anything really. We just, because we were raising our income so much, it was enough to pay off debt and still maintain.
Okay. Now, can you kind of just talk about where the like the whole Hartrimony brand itself came from? Because I think that was just like, to me, dope as heck. Because y'all like to me, the only when I think of a couple on Instagram, y'all like the first couple. I think I don't really know too many other couples. I see a couple here and there, but y'all are like the power couple on Instagram, in my opinion. So I just wanted to like get a backstory of like where that even came about. How y'all turned into like a full-fledged like 6-figure, 7-figure brand.
Yeah, it was literally we got married 2016, and I don't know if you remember, Snapchat used to have these filters. Like it was based on a location. So let's say you go to the mall, and it would have like Arlington Mall or like Dallas Mall, and like a font or something like that. So Snapchat was huge back then, and we said we got to have a filter for our wedding. So it was like a geographic location. So if you go to the venue, or if you at the hotel for that day, it had a logo or a hashtag. So it was literally a play on our last name. So Hartrimony is a play on matrimony and Hartzogs. So Hartrimony, and that's all it was. It was just a hashtag filter for Snapchat for our wedding. So that when you go through the filters, you're like, oh shoot, they got a dope filter. And nobody really had filters back then for like what they were doing unless you had an event. So that was literally what it was. So we turned it into an Instagram page early on, and that was to just document our journey.
Yeah, when we started the Instagram page, I don't even know if we started it with the intention of debt payoff. We were going to talk about, we said we were talking about family, finances, and fitness. Those were the three things those were our pillars, if you will.
Pillars, yeah.
Yeah, those were the three things we were talking about. And we had started a YouTube channel then, mainly I think for our family and friends in New York to kind of keep up with what we were doing down here in Dallas. So yeah, that was why.
When you hear people say document the journey, that was literally what it was. Literally what it was, like documenting our journey in Dallas, Texas. And we didn't know it was going to turn into, a multi 6-figure, almost 7-figure brand, and all the things we've been able to do with it. So it was literally just us just documenting our journey. And you see those couples pages, and you're like, oh, they corny because they a couple and they got their shared page. And we were doing that as well, but we were literally like, all right, this is just gonna be for us and family. When we started talking about the debt payoffs and the debt freedom journey, that's when it started to change into like, all right, other people started tuning into our story. Because at first it was just about us and growing as a couple. Then we started talking about debt, and that's when people started tuning into it.
Okay, that's now it's like a whole full-fledged, like y'all got everything rolling with that thing now. So I got a question for y'all. Like, what is, if y'all don't mind saying, like, what is y'all's net worth like then compared to now? So people can kind of understand, like, because a lot of people don't talk about paying off debt. So what is like the net worth situation for y'all?
So yeah, when we first started our debt payoff journey, when we first started documenting it, we were $114,000 in debt. So our net worth around that time was maybe about 100, maybe 200,000.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, we wouldn't say that we were in the negative.
No,
because we still had our Roth IRA, our 401k, and stocks going.
Yeah.
So we had those going while paying. So we could have paid off the debt way quicker if we stopped those stuff, but I didn't want to.
No.
So we still had that. So we didn't know for a fact, but we were never in the negative, if you will. So
but we were probably like 100, maybe $200,000, and that was like 100. And we never calculated back then either. So when we started officially calculating, it's probably been over the last 2 years. So this 2021, our net worth was around 500,000.
When we started?
No, I said 2020. 2021.
Yeah, when we started 2021.
January 2021 is around 500,000, and now it's upwards of $1 million at this point.
In a year.
Damn. Well, congratulations to that, because that's huge in itself. Because a lot of people, especially in our community, don't really even have that kind of aspiration, even want to go do something different. And y'all are in a situation where y'all had great paying jobs, seems like. And so for y'all to even want to go add on an additional workload on yourselves is just impressive as is, because a lot of people don't try to do that.
And that's a big part of it too. Is like when we first started, only thing we were calculating was just our debt payoff. But if you start monitoring your numbers as closely as we did, you're going to try to get to that goal as soon as possible. So you focused on paying off that debt, and you look at it, daily, weekly, monthly, you're like, how can I pay this off faster? If that's your goal. If you want to save for a down payment for a house, if you watch that down payment every single month, you're like, how can I make more money to pay for this down payment? Or if you want that car, how can I get to that payment? Or if you want to grow your network, how can I grow that as soon as possible? Because now I'm calculating it and watching it on a recurring basis. So that's my goal. Now it's like, how can I achieve that goal faster?
Okay. Now, I want to get into this cleaning business, man, because this is like, I don't know where did y'all even come up with this idea of doing a clean? Like, I still wonder that to this day. Like, where did they even come from for y'all?
The same place it came from when it came to paying off the debt, a podcast. A podcast of hearing someone do a college student, do the same thing, that they were able to make $10,000 a month while running a cleaning business without cleaning.
From college. Yeah.
From college. So Anthony had reached out to this person on Facebook, like,
this is 2017.
Like, hey, can I just get more information as to how you did it? The guy gave like a brief overview, like, yeah, you
find the people,
you connected, and you make it work, type of thing. And then he had brought the information to me, and I was like, I said no, really. When he first brought it to me,
yeah.
I was like, no. Because it was we had never discussed running a business. That wasn't anything in our life or equation, if that makes sense. Like, we never spoke about possibly being business owners. So I'm like, no. And I'm like, I don't want to clean. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back, I think in October, with more information, just explaining what it would look like, how long it would take us to get it up and running. And that's how we kind of got on board and officially launched November 2017.
Okay. How long did it take y'all to get y'all first booking and stuff like that?
So funny thing is, we launched. I say launched because that's just mean our website was up and running and ready. But we launched Thanksgiving Day. We got our first booking on Black Friday, so a day after.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
How long? I guess in total did it take y'all to get everything up and run, the website and all that? Because that's what I'm in the process doing. So I'm actually trying to compare if I'm on the right track. I feel like I am, but how long did it take y'all to get going?
So that took us about 3 to 5 weeks. 3 to 5 weeks. The whole thing, from LLC forming to actually getting website up and running and getting a contractor and all that type of stuff. It took us that amount of time.
So with you not being on board, what was the agreement for y'all as far as splitting up? Y'all technically are 50-50 owners. So how did y'all decide about splitting up workload, or who was going to do what in that terms of the business?
So it was literally when she came on board, there was no, I'm not in it. Because once she said yes, it was all right, now we're both in it. And now today, it looks a lot different than back then, because I was doing probably most of the stuff back then. But now Jhanilka handles most of the customer service, which means that she's handling most of the people conversations. I'm handling most of the technical background. So today, a contractor called us, listen, you don't need to call us. You call the team. But since you called us, we'll speak to you. So she's like, I had to speak to her about this. And I'm handling, or if a customer has a complaint and our team can't handle it or manage it, they will bring it to us. And most of the time, Jhanilka will handle that. But on the technical side, so if it's the website, if there's anything to do with the SEO, any of the cards not being on file, or if there needs to be changes of the marketing strategies, those are things that I'm handling. So she's more of the customer service and I'm more of the technical background.
Oh, that worked out perfect for y'all there.
Yeah.
Now y'all said y'all talked to the guys. So where did y'all get to a point? Because now y'all teaching people how to get into this business. But for one, was it ever a worry for y'all about teaching people how to get into this industry, being that y'all have to deal with competition, things of that nature?
Never thought about it.
No,
I don't think we even ever discussed it.
Because the funny thing is, one of the people who kind of not taught us, but they gave us the blueprint, or the person that built the platform that we use in our course, I literally reached out to him. I was like, yo, I want to build a course around this because there's nobody teaching this stuff. And I think it should be taught. Instead of us trying to Google information or just trying to pick pieces, or I got to pick your brain or pick your brain. So I remember I reached out to somebody and I felt like he was an asshole to me. I was like, whoa, the questions I was asking was questions that people would ask us, but he wasn't sharing that information. And I was like, there needs to be somebody teaching this type of stuff. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. There needs to be a place where I could go from A to Z to figure this out. So I reached out to him. He's like, yo, bro, go for it. Like, I'm not teaching it. You're not, nobody's teaching it. So go for it. So when we started teaching it, it wasn't like, we didn't expect it to be what it is now. Like we didn't expect to have close to 1,000 students who've taken our course. Multiple 6-figure students that are really doing this. It was like, all right, we have knowledge. Now we're sharing our story. People are asking us questions. We're just going to share what we know. And that was literally what it was. So the first time we said we're going to turn it into something was when I brought the idea to Jhanilka. I was like, yo, we should turn it into a curriculum where we're monetizing our knowledge. And I said, we're going to do IG Live.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
It was like, I'm going to do an IG Live. And it was me saying, I'm going to do IG Live. And I said, we're going to do this course. And I was like, how many people do we need to do this course? How many people do we need to buy it in order for us to do this course? And you said,
I said we needed to get 10 people. So we went on IG Live and basically answer the questions that people have about the business. And I said we need to get 10 people to sign up for this course. Mind you, we didn't have the course done. We just had a website, a landing page. We just had a landing page, and he was like, I'm going to pitch it at the end. I'm going to pitch that we have a course at the end. And I was like, if you get 10 people, then I'll sit down and do it with you.
So I'm literally, we're on the IG Live. We're literally kind of breaking down what we do. And we said, while we're on it, I'm creating like a pre-sale link. And I said, listen, if you guys would love this as a course, let us know. Drop a 1 in the chat. So people started dropping 1s. And now I said, we had the link right now. Would you buy it? People started dropping 1s. And I was like, all right. So I dropped the link. We don't have a course. It was just a pre-sale. And we had how many sales at the end of that live? I think
about 12.
We had about 12 people buy it. It was like we had 12 people buy it. And it's like, all right, now that means we got to create it. So now we got a fire under our behind. We got to go create this course. But the good thing about it is that we documented our process for our business 4 years ago. So we literally said, this is how we built our business. We said, week 1, we're going to do this. Week 2, we're going to do this. Week 3, we're going to do this. Week 4, we're going to do this. So we already had our process documented. So we literally said, all right, we went back to 2017 and we said, we have our process. We're going to turn this into the course. This is the blueprint. This is the outline. We're going to take some of the questions that people have and kind of fix it up and then create that course based off of that structure that we already did. It was already proven because we've done it and we turned that into the course, which is the Start a 6-Figure Cleaning Business Without Cleaning Houses course.
So back then, how much was y'all charging? Because I'm still wondering why y'all price play so low, man. I've been through the course like 3 times now, so it's like.
Yeah, so when we first started, the pre-sale link was $99. And we wasn't really sure about the structure we should use. Wasn't really sure about the program. We wasn't really sure about the platform. We were just like, we're just going to try this out. So
the pre-sale was $99, and then after, because it launched June 1st or July 1st, one of the firsts, it became $149.
And our strategy around that was we saw most of the people on social media or Twitter that I was surrounded by, they had low course sales. I mean,
I ain't wanted that low for
low price courses. I mean, between like $37 to about $100 was like the normal thing for like the Twitter space that I'm in. So I was like, all right, let's price it at $99. And Jhanilka was like, I'm not comfortable with $99. Let's do $149. So we did $149. And as we started,
no, I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. I just know that wasn't my price.
And as we started recognizing that the information that was in it and the wins that students were getting, we said it's harder for us to push this course because people are sitting on it. They're not taking action, not doing anything with it. So as we started getting more people who were focused on it and we started getting more testimonials, we started raising the price. So now the course is $797. And I don't know when this is going to be released. It may be $997 by the time, or maybe $14.99 or $19.97. I don't know. But as we get more testimonials, as we change the platforms, as we add more information to it, that's how we kind of strategize around the prices.
Yeah, no, for one, I got y'all's course like last year. But I know I signed up for me because I was doing Turo, and then I decided like I need something where I could just completely figure out a way to be hands off with it as easy as possible. And y'all, like the cleaning business just has it doesn't have as much overhead to me because I don't have to go buy like vehicles and stuff like that and leverage that. So I definitely want to say I've been through y'all course at this point. I'm going through it now because I'm at the point of trying to like get the job ads posted and stuff like that. But y'all definitely got to have, I've been through, man, I don't know how many courses I've been through, honestly, but y'all probably got the best course I've been through as far as when it comes to like setting up a business stuff. Like I done did stock courses, of course, but I don't count that. But as far as like setting up business and stuff and getting going like that, y'all like I throw people y'all course all the time. I'm just like, go buy this because it's like a step by step book. Like I was talking to, I don't know if y'all know Portia. I was talking to her today, and I was like, they got literally A to Z what you need to do, and like I ain't never seen nobody do that. Nobody usually it's like always something like they're trying to upsell you on something like, oh well, this is a little bit now, do this and get this. But y'all literally break it down step by step. If anybody tuning into this, like that's what drew me to this. I mean, yeah, they got testimonials like, like Alex, I've talked to him about his success and stuff like that. I've had him on here. But it's just the way that y'all break things down. Y'all don't sugarcoat it. Y'all don't like have a lot of fluff. Y'all get straight to the point. And that's what I appreciate with y'all stuff. And y'all provide like, man, I ain't trying to make this no picture that nobody, but y'all provide like all the documentation and everything like that. That's what I like. Like a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to kind of just like give you a little bit, but don't give you everything. And y'all just kind of lay it all out there, and it's just like, all right, well, at this point, if you can't figure it out, I mean, it's just because you don't want to put in a little bit of work.
And the reason we did all that because number one, this is really. I mean, we had a course before. We actually still have this course to like help you get out of debt, but we literally documented everything because these are all the things that we use to get our business up and running. So there's not like something that we're hiding from you.
Yeah.
The document that we paid for the lawyer, we paid $900 for that document alone. A lawyer that we had from our from one of our advisors, he has a lawyer. He literally wrote up the contract for us. We paid him $900 for that contract. We took that contract and put it in a course. Like that's
right.
That alone, we paid out our pocket $900 for that one piece. Obviously, you could go online, you could go on Google and find some documentation. But we literally said, "Here's what we're doing in this business. Here's the contract, the model we're doing. Here's some of the things we may come across." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna draw up a contract for you guys based on what you're telling me, based on how you're gonna run your business." So this is literally what we had to pay for out of our pocket, and that's why we put it in the course.
Okay. All right. No, but I definitely will say, like, I didn't realize y'all did all that, but I like the fact that I could tell that like going through it that y'all go back. Like, I don't see a lot of people go back and kind of update their courses either. Like some people do, but you could tell like throughout y'all like, oh, y'all got a partnership, so now y'all having a hookup with this for the website. This will launch with like you could tell that y'all progressively making it better. So like it's justified. Like even if you was like one of those people that was iffy, like cause I know a lot of times we have problems like that imposter syndrome. We get going with something. Not saying that y'all had that, but it's just like some people worry about the price point that they want to charge starting off. For y'all, it's like, well, y'all have it justified because it's always an update to everything y'all got going on. And on top of that, it's like you have a community of people because I'm in the community that y'all have. With that one app, I don't know what the name of the app is, but I'm in the community anyways. And just being able to post something in there, and somebody will actually respond to you. Like a lot of people have communities, but they don't even like the owners don't engage. they don't say nothing in there, and it's real annoying
every day.
And so seeing y'all act, like I would ask you, how y'all so active on social media? Because like that is impressive.
Okay. I was gonna say we don't do it alone. So we just actually we work with Brianna, the Thorough VA, and that's like her Instagram and her Twitter too. But we started working with her last year, probably like 5 months.
I don't even know if it's been that long.
Probably not that long, but she helps us like with some of the editing for like the podcast, and she takes like some of our Instagrams or Twitter and our tweets and stuff. So she helps us with that stuff. But I mean, being
active, I mean, it's just something that we've been doing the past few years, and we know that that's part of like our funnel and how people know us and how people believe that we're real people and we can show our personality. So it's just part of, I think it's just part of our day to day. Like even because I still work my 9 to 5, we have the flexibility at our 9 to 5 to respond to stuff and do things like that. So that, I mean, we just make it work. Like you have to do it is how we see it. So we make sure that we prioritize that.
And we saw the growth in our social media when we started taking it more seriously. When we started posting, 2-3 times a day, our growth pretty much doubled. So that's how you gotta stay consistent with these type of things. Even with the podcast that we drop, now we know, all right, we gotta keep these episodes going because if you don't, people gonna stop tuning in. Just like social media, they're gonna stop tuning in if you don't show up every single day.
Now, I got a question for y'all because I know like sometime last year, like I guess towards the end of the year, I was seeing y'all go live like every day. Woo. Like I just like, whoa, like how was that? Like how was that experience? Because I still ain't even got it in me to go live yet. Like I ain't even went live. So, and I remember I would see y'all. I think I was talking to Marlon or someone. I was like, bro, they go live every day, and it's like I know y'all working, and I know y'all got the side hustle with the business going, and I know y'all got all this. Like how was that on y'all? Like with that, what was the like experience with that?
that was taxing. It takes a toll after a while. It definitely does. And some people may think, oh, you're just coming on and talking. You come on and talk then. Especially for me, as I'm a therapist and I speak to people all day, every day. To then have to go on live, it does become draining. But we had a goal in mind, and most of the time we enjoy it because like we just enjoy with each other and people come on with the conversation, but it becomes tiring. I will say that.
But there also is a strategy to it too. Like you going live allows people to see your personality, like a podcast, right? If we're on your podcast, people assume, oh, you gave them a list of questions, which is not the case. They assume that some of this is scripted, which is not the case. But if you go on live, there's no script. It's like you ask me questions or we're just talking. You can see my personality. If I curse, I curse. There's no edits. It's just me and you talking, or it's me talking to the camera, but you sitting and listening to me talk, or you listen to me talking about my knowledge or my expertise. So it's unscripted, it's undocumented, just me. It's us kind of just flowing, going with the flow. And usually we go live, let's say we go live 2 times a week. There's usually a strategy behind it. So our coach would be like, all right, guys, you've been slacking, haven't seen you live. And we know that that's a part of the sales funnel. Like you said, the funnel of people coming in, they see an ad or they see a testimonial or they see you getting reposted by somebody else. Now, like yesterday, we went live because we was on the Erica Campbell morning show in Dallas, and we got a bunch of followers. So now those people are sitting on our page, they see our content,
they don't know who we are.
They don't know who we are. Now they get an alert, oh, they're live. So that's a part of a strategy. Now they can see our personalities. They know that, all right, we don't always get along with everything. They may see us kind of battling on a live with each other. So it's all about strategy, but also allows your social media presence to be felt in a different way.
Now, you mentioned like y'all have a business card. I think y'all got Donnie, huh?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So y'all pay y'all are willing to, basically what I'm getting at, y'all willing to invest in yourselves, because that's another thing that a lot of people talk about, like, oh, I don't want to pay this money to do this. Like, at what point did y'all say, like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop the money, invest in what we got going on so we can actually scale it and grow it?
We just got with her at the beginning of last year. I think like February, March of last year is when we got with her. We just knew that we could be doing more, like we could be bigger. And obviously we can do it. We were doing it on our own, but we know that we need other people to continue to excel and get to the places that we want to get to. So we don't mind taking a course. We don't mind hiring a coach for different things if need be. We don't mind hiring someone for ads and stuff like that, because in the end, the return is usually way bigger.
Yeah, just like when you start a business, right? If you take all the profit from the business and start spending it, then the business is going to eventually start to suffer. But if you take the profits and reinvest it, let's say we're the business, and instead of us going to spend it, we're reinvesting it into ourselves, which means that we're reinvesting into a coach. Then that means that now we're able to continue to grow and scale our business, which is us, the business of us. That's kind of the way we think about it. And when you start thinking about marketing as an investment and not an expense, you start to change your mindset around that. And we don't mind, like you said, we don't mind paying for it at this point.
Nah, I do have a question off of that. Like, y'all say y'all not afraid. Like, so what was it like for y'all when y'all had the cleaning business? Like, cause y'all cleaning business do 6 figures. So it's like, at what point y'all was working a job? Y'all had like stuff y'all said y'all doing on the side, working like a job after that, and also managing this. At what point did y'all decide that y'all can like take profit from the business? Because that's you hit on reinvesting in the business. Like, what made y'all say, well, we just gonna keep reinvesting into it instead of just taking profit?
Well, as I mentioned, this was our first business. So I like to say that we were like just vibing with this. It was just vibes when we started it. And so we didn't start taking profit until we had an accountant in place and then we actually saw the money. Other than that, we were using like QuickBooks, but we weren't calculating everything the way that it should be down to the T, right? So once we got an accountant involved, which that came in like a year and 8 months into our business, and she ran through and showed us how much we were making, we're like, oh, okay, now we can start taking money. Other than that, we essentially didn't need it because we had our 9-to-5s and we had all these other side hustles. So we didn't require the money. We do understand that some of our students are in different places, and so some of them want to take their profit right away, which is totally fine. But for us, we didn't need it, and so that's why it just sat there.
And then also we had a bank account for our business, and we just saw the account just growing.
Yeah.
We never touched it. So if you log into the account, you see 10,000, you see 20, you see 50, 60,000. You're like, oh, well, I actually got money here that I could take out. But another thing is like we preach the book Profit First, and that tells you how to, if you want to take profit from your business from the very beginning, you most certainly can. So when we first started, we use a profit first system, and it tells you, all right, take an allocated amount from every single transaction that comes in on the 1st and like the 15th. And then now you got your profit from the very beginning. So that's an option for people to do if they do want to take that profit from the beginning. But like I said, we were new in the business. We didn't really understand it. So we just let that money accumulate. And then once we got the CPA, we started taking it from there. And even now, we still don't take the profit from the business. We take it and like, all right, we go buy an investment property. One of our students says, I kind of look at the monthly profits or the monthly P&Ls as like cash flow from like a rental. She's like, all right, if I got a rental property doing, $300, $400, $500 a month, if my cleaning business brings in $500 a month, that's a cash flowing, rental property that I have right there every single month. So if you think about it like that, you start reinvesting it. That's another way you kind of strategize around that.
Your business should be more than $500 a month, but yeah.
But that's she thought about that like. And
so basic.
Your rental property should be bringing more than that anyway. But.
Well, most of these rentals, I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about that.
I was about to ask you, like, y'all got the rental property. Y'all got a lot of stuff going on. Dang.
Yeah. We do.
My question is, because I know Anthony just retired. So what can you kind of just talk about that experience and like what got you to a point where you was finally comfortable, walking away from your job and stuff like that?
Yeah. So early on, for the past 2 years, we said people always ask us that question, like, why do you guys work your jobs? And we always say, all right, if our business income supersedes our working 9-to-5 income, we'll quit. And it's been doing that over the last like 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. But this year 2021 is when we got really intentional about it. We had a conversation and we said, this will probably be my last year working at a job. And that's when we started taking it more seriously. All right, well, we got our business expenses saved up. We got our business emergency funds. Now, also our business income is succeeding our personal income. So let's take this really seriously. And that was kind of like the beginning of it. And obviously, me getting Jhanilka on board was another battle.
So, when are you gonna when are you gonna retire, Jhanilka? Like, is that a
the question that I get asked a lot? I have no idea. First we gotta have this baby, see how it works out.
What the expenses
are. Medical is not really a big issue because I know they have entrepreneurs that have kids and they're making it work. I think just navigating that. Maybe by the end of what year are we in? 2022, beginning of 2023, but we're not really sure yet. We haven't put that in stone yet.
We haven't written it down on our board yet.
No.
Okay. Now, y'all just started y'all podcast. How has that been? Because I listen in, so I was just curious, like, what's y'all experience with that? Are y'all planning on bringing guests and stuff on?
What's your thoughts on it? How can we improve, man? You the OG in the podcast.
Man, I've been doing Alex and the one OGs. I just started this a year ago with no social media presence or nothing. I like it though. I like the dynamic y'all got. I really think, especially with y'all got the whole relationship thing going, because like a lot of people don't have, like, you don't see a lot of people that can bounce it out. Like y'all mesh well together for it. I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all mesh well, and so I think it's like dope to hear y'all's perspective on different things. Because for some reason, y'all don't, like a lot of people, they bicker, and y'all don't do that. Y'all just kind of just like, y'all have y'all points of view, and then y'all kind of come to like a understand, like, oh, this is what it is. So I like it. I like it for that fact, because I also don't see a lot of black people with, like, you don't see too many black podcasts. Like, you got, like, it's like a handful of them, like, I really follow. And like, once people get so big, it kind of waters it down a little bit. Because then it's kind of just like you got to keep up a certain appearance for like everybody. And like I like seeing people like from the beginning when they start. Like I've been like the podcast I followed was like the Black Wealth Renaissance, and I found out about Millionaire Mindsets and Money Monopolizers and like Earn Your Lead. Like those are the ones that are social proof podcasts. Things are like those, but like some of those are getting real big, and it's like now seeing y'all come up, it's just kind of like it's something fresh, something different, something new. I don't know if y'all plan on doing guests or if y'all gonna make it like a relationship coaching type deal or what. Like, I'm curious about that because
about the relationship coaching side of it. But no, we do plan to bring on guests. It's been going well for us. What works is like we go in there and kind of like batch the podcast. So like 3 hours of like pumping it out, changing outfits and making it work. That's been helpful for us. And we do plan to bring on guests, but we're trying to do as much as possible before the baby comes, because then I'll be out of commission for a bit. And he doesn't want to do the podcast on his own. So
yeah, I think, like you said, our dynamic, I think I enjoy hearing it. I enjoy listening to it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's different. I don't, even with us being married and being so different, especially when we start bringing in guests, like you'll see Jhanilka's perspective, and like even with the last one we just dropped, and we talking about relationships with money. Mm-hmm. Even though we grew up in the same building, we had completely different lifestyles growing up. Like, so I was the typical I'm from the projects, I'm in the projects, but I also have that side of me that wants to grow and learn more. And Jhanilka was able to travel. She was out with family all the time. She's going to events and stuff like that. So yeah. I think our podcast definitely brings a different dynamic. We'll be bringing on guests. We'll definitely have you on. You in Dallas, so we definitely gonna have you on there. And we're gonna be talking about just like the everyday hustle as it relates to business, relationships, life. And that's the goal, to continue to grow it.
No, y'all, that's what I think is dope, because y'all can hit so many different lanes with y'all. It's like it's cool doing a podcast. Like, I tried to do the podcast with my boys, and that thing fizzed after like 5 episodes. And I was just like people don't realize, like, people be thinking it's easy to just come on here and just talk.
It's not.
They don't think it take nothing out of you. They think it's so easy because they be like, oh, well, all you just do is get on there and talk for an hour or so, and that's it. But they don't and I edit mine still myself, and I be like, I talk to other podcasts about that. I'm just like, that's a grind in itself. They're trying to get like content for like social media. It's just like it's a grind that people don't understand. So I think it's dope, especially like when y'all start bringing on guests to see how like everything flow. That's like, to me, the thing, because like at this point I done already reached out to people. I'm like gonna have like a monthly like co-host for certain like weeks, because we like, for me doing a solo episode, it's like I'm doing a damn presentation. For y'all can bounce ideas off each other. Also, y'all got like, and then it's just like the network that come from it. Like, y'all already got an extensive network anyways, I'm sure, just because of like y'all social media growth. But like for me, this was like, this exposed me to a bunch of people that's getting money. I had just started getting money like on my own, like at work, but I had never like seen like outside of that. Like, I just was like, oh, I'm gonna do stocks. Then I meet Zay, and then we start talking. Then I meet y'all. Then I meet, Money Monopolizers, Black Wolf Renaissance. I meet Andre Hatchett. He's like, and then I meet Annalise. Like, people just even out just in Dallas, and they start sending you different things and sending you people to get on your podcast and sending you different ways to make money. And it's just like, that was like a level of growth. I think just podcast alone helped me a lot. And it seemed like it helped y'all as well, because that's how y'all was able to branch out and get into different like avenues of making money. So yeah. I think that's, and the way y'all's is going, I like it. I've listened I think I listened to 3 episodes. I don't know how many y'all got now, but I listened to 3 of them so far. And I liked all of them, because it's not like a waste of, like, y'all don't waste no time with anything. And that, like, some people be dragging it out, and it's like, what's the point? Like, just talk about what y'all want to talk about. But
yeah, we're going to try to make sure we have an episode that drops every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central. But that's the goal right now, to have it every single week and continue to grow, continue to expand. And as we learn more about the space and as we get the feedback, we're definitely going to start implementing. Right now we do, like, we don't edit it. So it's like, we on there. Whatever you hear is on there. Like, yeah. I think like the first episode, you was like, we done already? I was like, yeah, we done. It's like, all right, cool. It's like, we don't want to waste no time as we continue to grow. So that's the goal, man. Keep, just like with everything we do, keep growing, expanding, and more importantly, staying consistent.
I think that's smart that y'all do. Like, y'all don't, like, that same a lot of time. Like me, I don't normally edit unless it's like for me, I'm virtual, so it's a little bit hard. Like, if you get some type of like technical difficulty or something like that, because I don't know, when I brought Marlon on, it hurt me because I lost that whole video from that episode. That was probably like the first time that happened to me, and I still don't have it. So I'm gonna bring him back on sometime this year. But it's like little things like that you ain't got to deal with when you do it in person. Like, and I'm trying to angle to where next year I could go straight full on in person, and I'm just kind of traveling around and just go link up with people that way. Because trying to navigate this when you got like Zoom and you don't know how it's gonna react and how it's gonna work out, it ain't it. Definitely not it.
And also, you got, like, even when we joined, we was like, all right, how can we get the lighting right? How can we get the angle right? If I was somebody else that's never been in a podcast, I probably would just put it on my phone and just like, all right, cool, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make sure that we could be as presentable to you for your guests, for your audience as well.
Oh, that's dope, because some people come on here, man, I just be kind of like, hey, you could have tried a little bit. But it's cool. I don't be tripping. Like, I know people be busy, like, And you get good conversation out of it. And I know, like, I was gonna ask y'all, like, how's like just being in like social media, all that, how has this affected y'all networking? How is the power of the network for y'all now that y'all are like, established in this? Y'all ain't just starting out no more. Y'all really in it now.
Yeah, I would say, with me, I'm a little bit more of a social media network. So, for example, I'm
on the other side of Twitter.
Yeah, she's on the Beyonce side of Twitter, as I call it. I'm on the LLC side of Twitter. So, like an example, we needed a property manager in Dallas, and I put it out there to the Dallas folk, and I got like 5 recommendations from people immediately. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't, but at least I had those recommendations ready to go. Just from the power of networking. People are like, oh, this is my guy. Here's his cell phone. Call him. I'm gonna text him right now and tell him you calling. So the network is huge, man. Being able to travel and be like, yo, I'm in your city. Like we was in Atlanta, and Andre was like, yo, if you got a moment, let's let's set up the podcast, and that's exactly what we did.
Right.
So just having those networks is huge.
Oh, and it's crazy. Now I think about it. Shoot, I first got introduced to y'all in person, like at the we did the brunch. What was it? The Bosses and Brunch thing last. Yeah, that's all. Like, so I mean, that's definitely crazy how that started working. I don't know how y'all put that together. That was dope. So that was like a double event for sure.
And that's one of the things we talk about all the time. Is like, all right, having a network is dope online, but let's put this stuff in person. Meeting people in person is so much better than just. I mean, online stuff is cool, but let's get back to the in person stuff whenever possible, obviously. But that's one of the reasons why we did it. It's like, we talk so much, we see each other so much online. If everybody gonna be in Dallas, let's just do it. And nobody was actually gonna be in Dallas. We just said let's just do it in Dallas. I forgot. Oh, what was Xavier and D had their podcast, the live podcast. That's the first one they was doing. So he's like, let's just do it around that. And that just gave people a reason to come out.
Yeah, sure. Now, y'all done covered a lot in this episode. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I got one last segment I always do, a talk to the culture segment. I just run off 5 questions. Y'all answer to the best of y'all abilities. So we can wrap this thing up. First question is, what does wealth look like to y'all?
Freedom to travel. So that would be my biggest thing.
So for me, wealth means not having to worry about, time, not having to worry about money, or that was it. That's what wealth means to me.
All right. I always get a book recommendation from everybody that's tuning in. If y'all got one.
So I'll say right now, Profit First, because I'm reading it. And I think every entrepreneur should be reading that book at least once a year, maybe every 2 to 3 years, something like that. So I'll say Profit First.
I don't really read like that or at all. But I did read some good books. I think that a good one to recommend to people is Atomic Habits. That's a really good one.
I gotta pick that one back.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah, so that's what I will go with.
Okay. Now, I'll tailor this towards the Black community primarily. So I always ask everybody, what is one thing you think the Black community needs to improve on?
Jesus Christ.
I would say collaboration.
I don't even know. I don't even have an answer to that. But collaboration, I'll go with that one.
All right. And then I always try to check it like, what's next for y'all? Y'all already at a crazy point in y'all's journey. But what's next for y'all? What y'all got planned next? What y'all got cooking?
So what do we have cooking? I mean, I think
a baby cooking.
We have a baby cooking. Definitely, that's what's next. I think that we want to continue to get some investment properties. Right now, we just have one, and so we're looking 2. Yeah,
we actually just closed on another one.
Yeah, we closed on another one. Sorry. So we're looking to get some more of that, and continue to have systems in place for both of our businesses, our actual cleaning business and the Hartrimony side of it as well.
And also continue to grow our podcast too. That's gonna be big for us.
Yeah, I think that would be
in 2022.
We're having fun with it. So.
Having that evergreen content is huge, man.
Sure. And you can do me a favor. The last question. How can people find you? Plug everything that y'all got. Y'all got a lot going on. So
yeah.
So if you want to buy the course, if you want to buy the Cleaning Business course, you can go to cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. And it gives you all the information you need to know as to what's in the course, how to get your business up and running, and you can buy it there. We have the podcast, which is the Hartzog Hustle podcast, and it is on all of the platforms that you listen to a podcast on. And then our Instagram, which is the big one, the Hartrimony, where you can follow us at. So it's the HARTRIMONY. So the Hartrimony.
And as y'all know, man, that'll all be in the show notes. Tap in if you are looking to get into a business. I recommend it. I stand by it. I don't stand by too many people courses out here. So, like we always say on this platform, man, we're good at success, and everybody around you is still struggling. Each one reach one, each one teach one, man. And this is another episode of Wealth for the Culture, and we are out.